جبل صح we see this I'm gonna look it up. Jeff, you know that black mic, can you just chop on it for me? Is that turn the button for me? Is it another one? Bismillah, Bismillah. Is it on? It's meant to be. Red button.
Bismillah, Bismillah. Bismillah.
Talk.
Bismillah, Bismillah.
Is
it meant to be on? Like the light on? Off?
Light on. Leave the light on. Is the light on now?
Yeah, it's on. You want to talk?
Have the light on.
Is that fine? Nice.
TV on? Yeah. You see the TV on the speaker. That's fine. Bismillah. Can you hear me now? Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's fine. Sheikh said you were on this road.
Yeah. I see his car here very often. He's playing for Jordan. Yeah, but it's right. Yeah, inside, so bullet. What means to get adjusted to the building here?
I don't want to get someone.
I think it's
Do you have a recording? It's going to be good this time. I've never been here, by the way. This is where you did Taraweeh? You pray here or there? And that room will be full? MashaAllah. It's a house, isn't it? Offices, you mean? Offices. What's that? Which Zoom link? The one.
The one for your.
Oh, forgot to send it, didn't I? Forgot it. Don't know what it is. Ahmed does everything. Class. Assalamu alaikum. I just saw your message right now. No, it's not on Fleet Bill. The address is different. Doesn't mean, yeah, it's correct. 219. That's right. Okay. I didn't send it to anybody. Copy. I'm gonna give it to you now, okay? You got it, Nabil? Nabil, you got it? There's no internet here. No router. That's another issue as well. Habib al-Rahman. Who's Habib al-Rahman? You can see him here. Okay. Like no, I'm using mine. Don't worry. I don't want your favors. But you need later on, if you need the router, you know that. The router is more important than anything now. Wi-Fi. Do we have internet guys here? No, I'm just saying the hotspot is not internet even here. Very bad. Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now we got it. This is full. I don't need it. Just everybody here. Yeah, I don't need it here. Huh? Yeah, but this one, I don't need that one. Oh no! Take that echo off.
Yeah, what?
Oh.
Yeah. That's fine.
Bismillah. It's not loud. Echo. It's wow, wow, wow. I don't like wow, wow, wow. I like nothing. Bismillah. That's better. Even if it's downstairs, by the way, it's echo. They're gonna give the sisters headache. I'm telling you. It's good for recitation, not for lecture. Reverb is different because reverb got the whole, but this is echo. Wow, 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 wow. Just put it, yeah. If you got it here, the system is here. Show me your system, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll tell you what to do. You don't have to damage things.
Your table is
Move the table. Move the table.
Bring the chair. Like.
Bismillah. We're working, bro. Bismillah.
You won't be believing why I'm late today a bit. I've been fixing a system in Northampton for the masjid. Amplifiers like that. Spend about 4 hours after Jummah. Speakers and all. Huh? I ruined it. Bismillah. You could put this on, Yanni. It's on. Is it on? No, that one is on. It's not on. No. Can you put it on, please? You want to see? I want to see. Can you put it on, please? Right. Bismillah. Okay, that's a bit loud. It's all right. There's a setting there for volume on that one. Yeah, just put it a bit low. Yes, mashallah. Well done. Alhamdulillah. Right. Are you ready for the flight? Okay.
Recording in progress.
بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد. For tonight is, today I should say, haven't gone into night yet, is the 8th Shawwaal, 1444, 28th of April, 2023, and this is gathering number 10. And we have 2 sessions on Zakah. Normally the Zakah will take much more than that, but that's what has been allocated for me. So we would like to do the Zakah in 2 sessions. First one is tonight. Second one, it will be next week, bi'idhnillah. So, ready for the flight. And I mean what I'm saying. As-Zakah is one of the pillars of Islam, as we know. Hadith Abdullah ibn Umar, where he said that the Prophet ﷺ, he said Islam is built upon 5 pillars. One of them is the Zakah. Zakah is the due right of the money. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had talked about it in the Quran so many times, and you could see it combined with the prayer. More than 50 times. يؤتون الصلاة يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة. يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة. Always combined with the salah. And this is, by the way, a proof that those who say that who abandons the prayer out of laziness is a disbeliever is not correct. Because if they do so, then they have to apply that as well to the one who abandons what? Paying the zakah. And none of them would say that. Abandoning the zakah out of negligence or being a sinful, not denial, that's with the consensus almost of all scholars. It is not kufr to take you outside the fold of Islam. But as I said, for verily, by the way, the sound is gone. Did you put it down or something? Did you put it down or something? It's gone down. Okay, no problem. It's gone down, really down. So, for verily, the abandoning of the prayer out of laziness is a crime, but it is not, as it's been said, is kufr and disbelief. There's something, Ikhwani, because you're talking. All right. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, خُذْ مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ صَدَقَةً تُطَهِّرُهُمْ وَتُزَكِّيهِمْ بِهَا. And by the way, that sign is gone, Ikhwani. I don't find anything. It's really gone, so down. Something happened to it. Something happened. I want to hear it so that the sister can be able to hear it. Most important thing is the sisters downstairs. See, there's nothing. Nothing. A bit more louder. Put it there, number channel 1. There's something wrong. No. It was close. It's just cut off while I'm talking. It's just cut off. It's something happened while I'm talking. Bismillah. It's cut off, you see, completely. Bismillah. Something wrong. Bismillah. Something had happened. Somebody checked on wire or something like this, but it's not correct. You want to see like this? Bismillah. Something wrong. Bismillah. Something happened when I'm talking. Is it downstairs? Okay. Yeah, I know. This is my job, Sheikh. This is my job. Been doing 4 hours today. Calm down. Something happened. No, it's not better. Can you use a bit loud? Lower. Not loud. Yes. Yeah, okay. I think your system needs the tuning. Right. طيب. The person who does not pay the zakah is in trouble. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَلَا يَحْسَبَنَّ الَّذِينَ يَبْخَلُونَ بِمَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. Don't you ever think that those people who are stingy to spend from whatever Allah Azza wa Jal gave them from His bounty, هُوَ خَيْرًا لَهُمْ, is to be good for them, بل هُوَ شَرٌ لَهُمْ, it will be evil for them. سَيُطَوَّقُونَ بِمَا بَخِلُوا بِهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. This, whatever they've been stingy in paying in zakah, it will be encircle them. It will be something that it will punish them. Whatever it is that you did not pay the zakah of, whether it is silver, gold, sheep, goats, cows, camels, everything, that it will have a certain punishment, as we're going to see. But we find that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, whom Allah Azza wa Jal given him money and he did not pay the due zakah, the due money, on the day of resurrection there will be a shuja' aqra, mean a big snake, which will surround him, or it will hug him, and it will bite the fangs of it. It will go to his cheeks, and it will say to him, I am your treasure, I am your money. Then the Prophet ﷺ recited the verse which we have just explained. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says in Surah At-Tawbah, وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ, those the one who hold silver and gold, وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَها فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, do not spend it for the sake of Allah, and if they don't give the zakah, فَبَشِّرْهُمْ بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ, give them a severe torment. What is the severe torment? يَوْمَ يُحْمَى عَلَيْهَا فِي نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ. On the day of resurrection, there will be heated metal feet, فَتُكْوَى بِهَا جِبَاهُمْ, made of silver and gold, because they did not pay the zakah, and it will brand their foreheads, وَجُنُوبُهُم, and also their sides. Again, it's gone back again, gone down. وَظُهُورُهُم, see, it's gone out, finished. System. It's not blowing, it's amplifier, there's something wrong with it. وَظُهُورُهُم هَذَا مَا كَنَسْتُمْ لِأَنفُسِكُمْ فَذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْنِزُونَ. This is what you have been hoarded for yourself, so taste the punishment for the result of what you have done. Speak to your wife. I think if you can't hear me, you could hear me or not, because this has gone down again. Yeah. Right. So more details. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, any person does not pay the zakah for gold and silver, then it will be heated and it will be cauterizing his face, forehead, and his back and his side. Every time he gets cold, it will be set back. So is it okay, doctor, or something wrong? It's okay. And every time it is to be cooled off, it will be reheated in a day which is equivalent to 50,000 years, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would judge between the people. Then they will be seen, where is he going to be going? Paradise or hellfire? There's no camps in the middle. Paradise, hellfire. Messenger of Allah, what about the camels? What about the camels? Yeah, well, the person who owns camels, he does not give the due right of the camel. And from the due right of the camel, not just whenever they reach a certain number, you have to give a certain zakah, but also that when he goes to go and drink from the wells, that is to give some of the milks as a sadaqah for those people who are present, to give sadaqah from the milk, to milk it. And because if he doesn't do that, pay the zakah of the camels, then on the day of resurrection, he will be laid flat, so that in a valley, biqa'i qarqa. And okay, so he will be laid flat in a valley, and this valley will be like smooth. They will be those camels who he did not pay zakah for them. It will be going on top of him and biting him with their mouths. Every time the first one goes by until the last one, then the first one go back again, and so on and so forth, in a day which is equivalent to 50,000 years, non-stop, until Allah Azza wa Jal gives the go-ahead for this person to go to either to paradise or hellfire. Punishment. Now, the one who prevents paying the zakah, if it's out of denial, he's a kafir. If he says that no zakah exists, he's a kafir, unless a person is a newcomer to the Islam, he doesn't know anything about the zakah, he's been told about the salah, is a revert, that's something else. But if it is somebody who knows Islam and he denies the zakah in Islam, he will be asked to repent from that. If he doesn't, then he will be killed as an apostate. But if he had prevented or did not pay the zakah, yet he confesses and he says that there is a zakat, then he's a sinner. Just like a person who knows fornication is haram, drinking is haram, stealing is haram, yet he does all of that. He's not a kafir, but he's a sinner. So if this person did not pay the zakat, okay, then the hakim, the leader, or the one who's in charge, the deputized, you could say, person who's in charge of the Islamic State, he will take the zakah from him, and as a punishment because he did not pay the zakah, he will also give half of it. By the way, my sound is gone up now by itself. Okay. As I said, the amplifier. Huh? Yeah, no. It's going up and down, even down, said the Sheikh. Yeah, Wallah, Sheikh asked me, I know. He's been feeding me, going down, up. Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah, it's fine. It's going fine. But it goes down by itself. The amplifier needs something. Right. So we find here that the person, if he doesn't pay the zakah out of not denial, because he did not pay it, he will be sinned, number one, and also the deputized person from the governor, he will be taking his zakah, gone up now, taking his zakah, just to prove to him that it's up and down, and half is going down, half down. This is really annoying, you see, because it's not really correct. I can't talk. It's up and down, now up. You see something wrong, Sheikh? SubhanAllah, it's annoying. Right. Now let's just see how Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu had implemented this. For those people who get as a group and do not pay the zakah, even they believe the zakah, then the governor is allowed to fight them. Like Abu Bakr, he fought those people who did not pay zakah straight after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. Some of them, they were kuffar. Some of them, they said, no, we used to pay zakah to the Prophet. The Prophet is dead now, we don't pay zakah. Okay? Some of them just were actually hypocrites. They were seeing which one the side is winning, Arabs or the Prophet Muhammad. If the Arabs won, they will be with those Qurayshi people. But because the Prophet won, they are with them. As soon as the Prophet died, they exposed themselves. They are not the Sahaba. They are not other than the Sahaba. So one of the categories of those, they were the ones who were embracing Islam, but they thought we're not going to make the zakah, pay the zakah. Either because they thought that they don't have to give it to the Abu Bakr, or they have power now. Or should I give a zakah? So those people, the Prophet Abu Bakr decided to fight them. Umar Khattab said to him, Ya Abu Bakr, verily, Allah Azza wa Jal had said to his messenger that he's supposed to be fighting the people to say La ilaha illallah, and he who says La ilaha illallah had protected himself and his wealth except for its due right. So Abu Bakr, as in reply to Umar, he said, verily, I will fight those people who differentiated between salah and between zakah. Or verily, the zakah is the due right of the money. And by Allah, if they prevent me even a small anaq, she-goat, small goat, that they used to give it as a zakah to the Prophet of Allah, they prevented giving me that, I would fight them because they did not give me that zakah. So Umar Khattab said, by Allah, I knew that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had opened the chest of Abu Bakr for such a fight, and I knew this is the haqq. Those people, they got like a bandit, a group, okay? Like brigandry, you know, heard about brigandry? They're together. They don't want to pay the zakah. So Abu Bakr fought them, even though that some of them, they say La ilaha illallah. But because they are preventing it not to pay it openly against the Islamic State. You see, the zakah, there is two types of zakah. One which is the hidden, and one which is the one not hidden. The hidden, no one is going to command you to do it except for yourself. That is the money, currency, gold, silver. That's up to you to pay the zakah. No, Islamic State has got no right to go into your bank account and see how much that you have. But the outward money, or the open money, the one which is not hidden, is the one like the cattle that we can see, sheep, goats, cows, camels. Okay, there's zakah in those things. So, and also land in which there is crops. Okay, like agriculture there, like for example, raisins, so the grapes, which is raisins, also the wheat, barley, and dates, there's zakah on them. So these things that the governor, he will deputize someone to go and collect the zakah by going to the sheep owner, and he will count how many sheep, and he will take accordingly, according to the number that he's got, how many from the zakah, and he has to take it from the average, as we're going to see. The average, let's say that it's got 100 sheep. How many sheep that he's to pay, for example, is 2 sheep. So he will take the 2 sheep from the 100, which are the average ones, not the small ones, and not the big ones, like the ram, the medium size. That is why the one is deputized to go and collect the zakah. He's not allowed to take any sort of hadiyah, which is a gift. So the owner of the farm or the barn to give him 1 sheep, this is hadiyah for you. No, because if he does, he will take a hadiyah. That means, and then he will take zakah, which is not the correct zakah for the country, for the estate, for the government. He will keep a closed eye for the big ones, and he'll take very small ones because he's being given like a bribe. Okay, in the back, in backhand, give him a bribe. So that is why he's not allowed to take any hadiyah. This is why the Prophet of Allah said, the gift being given to the workers for the governments is ghulul. It's like stealing from the wubuti. طيب, upon whom the zakah is compulsory. It's compulsory upon every Muslim who is free, because a slave he doesn't own anything. Everything what he owns is the property of his master. Who is owner of the nisab, the owner of the nisab. The nisab is the threshold, as we're going to see. As long as it has been a year, which is a lunar year, is being passed upon us, except for the agriculture, and that is, it will be the zakah due whenever the harvest takes place. So if it reached the nisab, then there is a zakah. وَآتُوا حَقَّهُ يَوْمَ حَصَادِهِ. Give the zakah on the day that you harvest the crops. Right. So here we find that the zakah is upon every Muslim. But is it compulsory upon the child? Controversial issue. Or verily, let's say that you have a child, and some, when he's born, some people as a culture, they start giving him money, isn't it? Like gold if it's a girl, and it will be above the threshold. So he will be rich when he is even as a baby. Okay, some of them even is born, and his father had died. He inherited a lot of money, so he becomes a rich baby. So is there any zakah on the rich child? So that means, is there any zakah on the child who is not reached his puberty? A controversial. Correct opinion, no zakah. So only the zakah on the one who had reached his puberty. As for the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that there is a zakah on the child on the week. This is not authentic. Okay, so the correct opinion is that there is no zakah except when he reaches his puberty. What are the properties where the zakah is due? The zakah is not due in everything. So if you have 1,000 thob, there's no zakah on it. You have horses which are more expensive than the camels. Some of the horses, one horse costs 100 and 200,000 pounds. If it's a racing horse, there's no zakah on the horses. There's no zakah. There's a zakah, for example, on the dates, but there is no zakah on, let's say, guava. The guava is very expensive. No zakah on the guava, or cucumber, or tomatoes. There's no zakah on them. There's certain items that zakah is due. So it is gold and silver. So there's no zakah on rubies, sapphires, more expensive than pearls. There's no zakah on them. Gold and silver. Platinum, they call it white gold. Okay, there's no zakah. It's only the gold and silver, regardless of how pure is the gold, whether it's 24 carats, which are the purest, or up to 9 carats. If it's gold, there's a zakah on it. Silver, and also what is being derived from the gold and the silver, which is the money, the currency, banknotes. There is a zakah on that. And as I said, it has to reach the threshold, as we're going to see, and then 1 year is passed. And also on the crops and the plants and the cattle and al-rikaz, the treasure, is hidden by the treasure which has been hidden by Jahiliyyah time. Right, let's talk about them one by one. First, zakah of the gold and the silver. The nisab is known by the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. That is 20 dinars is the nisab of the gold. Once it reaches 20 dinars, I will tell you what is 20 dinars. In the hadith, then there is a zakah of 2.5%. As for the silver, it's 200 dirham. So the dinar is attached to what? Gold or silver? Gold. And the dirham is attached to what? Silver. So whenever you talk about dirham, silver. Dinar, gold. I've got some maths here in front of me. I don't want to sort of scare you with this. But let's just see. when the gold reaches 20 dinars. I don't have dinars these days. We have weight. We know for a fact, 100%, that each the 20 dinars of gold is equivalent to 85 grams. Can anybody tell me how much is the dinar? Yeah. Yes. Well done. 4.25. 4.25 grams of gold. Now, this is the zakah of the pure gold, the 24 carats. As for the other carats, it will be above that. So it will be not 85, it will be more. Like, for example, 21 carats. How do I know? Well, as long as we know how much is it for the pure gold, they will work out for the other gold. So let's say we said that this threshold is 85 grams. If you add 85 grams of for 1 year from pure gold, 24 carats, then there is a zakat 2.5%. So I've got 21 carats. Well, 21 carats, you will see how much it is. You've got alhamdulillah, apps these days. It will tell you how much it is. So if it's equivalent to what is 85 grams of the pure gold, then you've got the threshold. Do you understand that? Again, let's say the 85 grams of gold of 24 carats is 5,000 pounds. It's around that money, madam. Around that figure. 5,000 pounds. So in order for the zakat to be due on other than the 24 carats, it has to reach the 5,000 pounds. You understand that? So I had, for example, 21 carats, I have to buy maybe 110 grams to make it what 5,000, then it will be threshold. Okay? That's how we know the threshold. The threshold is assigned to the pure gold. 20 dinars of pure gold, which is 85 grams of gold. Exactly. 100%. So each dinar we know is 4.25. Right. As for the fiddah, Prophet ﷺ says 200 dirham. Okay, now, I don't know you're going to do that calculation now. The threshold is 595 grams of silver. How much the dirham is equivalent to? Yeah, now can you see? Show me the muscles of yours. Huh? No, listen. 595, that's for 2 dirhams. 200 dirhams. So 1 dirham is how much? No. Less than 3, correct? Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah. I think you're fasting. 2.975, just about less than 3. Well done. 2.9, that's for. Okay, so 595 grams of silver. That is the threshold. Above that, so if you hold it for 1 year, you pay again 2.5% of this. So at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the 20 dinars of gold, 85 grams, is equivalent to 595 grams of silver, which is the 200 dirham. But it's not anymore, is it? Gold is really silver is nothing. Even getting cheaper and cheaper. SubhanAllah, silver. The ones who've been collecting silver, they're lost. Investing in silver, they're lost. The one investing in gold. Now, I'm not saying to invest in gold, go and buy gold and hold it, and hold it. And this is not correct. It's not right. But now we come to jewelries. I've got gold, I've got silver, but they are not like, blocks. They are jewelries, like they are rings and earrings and necklaces and bracelets and all of that. Okay. So is there any zakah on them? Yes, there is a zakah. The difference among the scholars, they said that if it's jewelry, no problem. If the woman is using it to beautify herself, there's no problem. No, there is a zakah. And for verily, the Prophet ﷺ, he told 2 women who had been having 2 bracelets, did you put the zakah on them? Did you pay the zakah for them? She said, no, Messenger of Allah. It's like 2 circles of fire, bracelets of fire on your hands. No. Time for Maghrib, Jazakallahu khairan. Can I have some dates? You don't have any water, nothing? This place is a. Is it no with water? Just water. Yeah, you got water. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We are in the desert. Jazakallah. Bismillah. الله يجزيك الخير.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة
The prayer we should do the class out. Farasa. Dr. Farasa. Do the prayer first. Or do the class. Watch. Let's pray it. We'll pray now.
One.
Yeah, I knew it. Allah understand. By the way, I didn't open the. I put the Zoom on. I didn't allow anybody, so you should have told me. I didn't allow anybody to come in. Okay, never mind. Sorry for the brothers who I didn't remember to put the because I usually have Ahmed and right. Yeah, inshallah. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Can we consider this as a break that we had? Right. Shall I go until what? 9:30? Is that okay? Or so 9:15, then we'll get questions until 9:30? Yeah, okay. Yeah, inshallah. Right. Now, Aisha radiallahu anha, she says that Ali, so the Prophet ﷺ, he entered upon me and he saw in my hand fatakhat, meaning like bracelets, and as well anklets that goes into the legs as well. So she, and it was from silver. So she said, "What is this, Aisha?" She said, "I put them to beautify myself for you. Do you give the zakah?" He asked. She said, "No." He said, "Well, this is gonna be your tool to take you to hellfire. It's gonna burn you because you did not pay the zakah for it." So we have to pay zakah basically for the gold and silver. Coming now to the second one, which is crops and fruits. The ones that you take from them is 4 types mentioned in the hadith: barley, wheat, dates, and grapes, which is raisins. So the barley, which is well known to you, yes, the wheat, well known to you, and the dates, and also the raisins, which is out of the grapes. Now, for this, I'm going to be talking now about the nisab, and nisab for this crops. And the nisab, we said from the gold, if you remember, what did we say the nisab for the gold? 85 grams. And the nisab for the silver? 595. Right, now, as for the sadaqah, for the nisab, for the crops, here. Just make sure that I'm going to do it again. Fine. Prophet of Allah ﷺ, he said, Khamsatu awsuq is the nisab. There is no zakah which is less than Khamsatu awsuq. What is Khamsatu awsuq? 5 wisq. Or 5 wasq, or 5 wisq. Each wisq is 60 sa'. So how many sa'? 5 multiplied by 60, how much? 300. So it's 300 sa'. How much is the sa'? The sa', by the way, is a volume. The sa' is 4 handfuls, whether it's from the wheat, or from the barley, or from the raisins, or from the dates. 4 handfuls. Now, how much is the whole 4 handfuls in weight, kilograms? It differs from one item to another. So the 4 handful of raisins definitely is not the same weight as the 4 handful of wheat, which is the lightest. Okay, it's not going to be the same. So if you're going to make it like 2.5 kilos, as in we have measured it ourselves, as in roughly 2.5 kilos multiplied by 300, how much is that? 2.5 multiplied by 300. Come on, 750. Yeah. So we will make it to 700, just to make sure that. So if it reached 700, okay, the 700, then above that, so let's say 700 of kilograms of dates, or 700 kilograms of wheat or barley, then there is on that is a zakah. Now, what is the zakah? Okay, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if those crops or the plants are to be fed by the land, by the rain, there is no expenses involved, then you will give 1/10. How much is 1/10? 10%. Well done, mashallah. So 1/10. 1/10. And if it is being if it's being irrigated by yourself, okay, then it is half of that, 1/20. How much is that? 5%. Right. If it's being done from both, then you could just do an average. Like sometimes rain and sometimes you put some water yourself, expenses. The grapes and the dates, it's the same thing in terms of weight-wise, the nisab, and also the zakah, which is due, which is, we said, 10% and 5%. But now, sometimes it is good for the people, sometimes they like to eat the dates before they are due. You know, the dates, they go into stages. Hard, like yellow. Sometimes they go red, yellow. Some people, they love that yellow. Before it's been ripened. Okay? So, the people want to eat from that. So what happened is that a deputized person from the government will come and make something called khars, an estimation. So he will look at the dates, how much is a new tree, and he would say this will make, for example, 5 awsuq. Okay, it will make about 600 kilos. So your dates will make in this palm trees 600 kilos, 700 kilos, whatever. Once he made the khars, then you are allowed now to eat. It doesn't matter because he wants to eat. The person who's the owner of the farm, he wants to eat. So he will take from him, okay, what is supposed to be. So whether he can give it directly now or until it's been ripened. That means he will now eat from it because he cannot eat until the whole thing, because it's going to be harvested. And this person, he wants to eat before it's been harvested. Okay. So once the khars has been done, then he's allowed to do what he wants. The Prophet ﷺ, he said to his companions, خُرُصُ وَخَرَصَ رَسُولَ ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ, he made 10 awsuq. 10 awsuq, we said the 5 awsuq is the what? Is the nisab, the threshold. So when he came to a woman, he said, how much is the garden produced? He said 10 awsuq, which is the Prophet of Allah had made as for me. Somebody had come to the woman, she said, how much is your garden? She said, well, the Prophet of Allah had estimated it is to be 10 awsuq. Right. Aisha, she said that the Prophet of Allah, he would send Abdullah ibn Rawah, and he will make an estimation, khars, for the dates, because lots of dates in Medina, and this is before it is to be eaten. Then he will give a choice that to take it with this khars, to accept this estimation. Okay, so take it, so you take it, or not to eat from it until it's due. He'll give you an estimate. I don't think it's too much for this. An estimate. Okay, then don't eat from it until it's ripened. It's up to you. The estimate, you take it, and then we will have our portion as a government, which is all the zakah goes to the poor people, by the way. The zakah goes to the 8 categories, as we're going to see. It's not going to the government as in the pocket of the king or the pocket of the. Okay, now. So the khars basically is to facilitate the people life. They want to, do whatever they like with their crops before it is due. They don't have to go and wait. I want to have it before it's been harvested. So they will, okay, we'll come and we'll do the estimation, and then you do what you like. Either you take the estimation. If you don't want to, then it's up. We have to see the last product of yours. So we take the zakah. Now we come into the cattles. Camels, write down, it's like a timetable. I'm going to give you numbers now. Cattles are of three categories. Either the camels and the likes, like llama. Llama is a camel. And the cows and the likes, like the buffaloes. Buffaloes are cows as well. And the sheep and the likes, like the goats, the white and the black. So let's talk about the camels. Camels, from 1 to 4, so write two columns. 2 columns. 1, the number of camels. Second column is what is the zakah. Remember, it has to be 1 year to be passed on that. As for the crops, we said what? When it's harvested. It could be harvested twice in a year. This is 1 year, after 1 year. So if this person had 1 to 4 camels, 0. No zakah. If he had from 5 to 24, so camels from 5 camels up to 24, then for every 5 camel, there will be a sheep. How many sheep? If he's got 24, how many sheep? 4. Well done, it's not 5. Because it's 5 to 24. Right. From 25 to 35, we call it, he has to give zakah of camel, she camel, bint mahab. What is bint mahab? It's 1 year and entered in the 2nd year. And now she is like her mother, she had the mother of that she camel, and entered in the stage of being pregnant, in the time of being pregnant. It's called bint mahab. So we said again, from 25 to 35, then they have to give zakah of a camel of 1 year old when her mother reached the age of being ready for pregnancy. Third one, sorry, 1, 2, 3, the fourth one, 36 to 45, bint laboon. See, look, you see, everything's been detailed in Islam, subhanAllah. Bint laboon. Laboon is 2 years old, and she entered in the 3rd year. And her mother became laboon. Laboon gives milk. That means she's already had given birth, and she is what? Feeding. So she will give bint laboon. 46 to 60, taruqa. She camel, 3 years old, entered the 4th year. Taruqa, that means she is now ready to be ridden. So when they are 3 years up to 4, finish 3 and going to the 4th. She is now ready to be ridden and to be as well mated. Is that the right word for it? To be mated? For the male, yeah? Yeah. To be mating. 61 to 75. Jada. Jada is 4 years old, entered in the 5th year, and the front teeth had fallen. Front teeth had fallen. That's called Jada. 76 to 90, 2 bint laboon. Remember, the laboon is 2 years old, entered the 3rd. Her mother became now feeding milk. 2 bint laboon. 91 to 120, 2 taruqa. Almost finished. 91 to 120, 2 taruqa. Taruqa, you remember? She is, you call it taruqa or huqqa. Even another name, huqqa, put huqqa as well. Huqqa or taruqa. She camel 3 years old, entered the 4th year, and she deserved to be, and then she's ready to be ridden or to be mating. Now, from 121 upwards, okay, from 121 upwards, now we have a combination now of bint laboon and taruqa. How is the combination? For every 40 bint laboon and for every 50 taruqa. Write that down. I'm going to ask you for maths now. So above 121, for every 40 there's bint laboon, and for every 50 there is what? Taruqa. So I'm going to ask the following question. From 121, continue your. From 121 to 129. So they're going to be now taruqa and laboon. You understand me? Taruqa and laboon. From 121 to 129. So let's say I've got 125. What do I need to pay? Do you understand what I said? For every 40, there's bint laboon. Every 50, there's a taruqa. Divide by something that it will have close. So we have, for example, from 121 to 129. So I've got 128, let's say. 129. Well done. 3 bint laboon. Because 3 multiplied by 40 is 120. Now, if I want to jump to the following category, let's say 130 to 139. How much is that? Yalla. Someone's only Nabi now is working because he's writing. Yalla. From 130 to 139. Every 40, there's laboon. Every 50, there's taruqa. 30 taruqas, well, it's 150. Look at 130 to 139. 2 taruqa, that's 100. 2 taruqa laboon, that's 200. That's 140. Come on. Every 40 is laboon and every 50 is taruqa. So we got the number. Let's say 135. 130. There's no sheep. There's no sheep. It's only taruqa. No. We said for every 40 laboon above the 120. Now, still, it could make something else bigger than that. From 130 to 139 is 2 laboon and a taruqa. 2 multiplied by 40 is 80 plus 50, 130. Do you understand that? Now you know shit. So let me just see, we're going to deputize as a worker now for collecting zakah. I've got from 140 to 149. I've got 145. How much should I be paying? 145. Yes, go on. Well done. 2 taruqa and 1 laboon. 2 taruqa, 100, and laboon 140. Well done. 145. Correct. Because if you put something else, it will go to the other category. 150 to 159. I got 155. 3 taruqa. Well done. 160 to 169. 4 laboon. Well done. You see, very easy now. We come to you. MashaAllah. I will employ you, inshallah, as a zakat collector. Like, if the person who's collected the zakat did not find the right age, let's say he has to pay 2 laboon and 1 taruqa. He tried to work it out, but he has to go work in the benefit of the owner. So if he did not find, for example, a jada', he used to pay something less than that, laboon, for example, another jada', another taruqa, then he will give something and the other one to compensate for it. Okay? So he will give, for example, something, money, dirham, to compensate for the missing of the age. Right. Lastly, now the cow. Cow is easier numbers. Again, 2 columns. Cows 1 to 29. No zakah. No, sorry. This is, hang on a second. Yeah. Yes. 1 to 29, no zakah. 30 to 39. Tabi'a. What's a tabi'a? Had reached 1 year and entered into the second, called tabi'a. 40 to 59. Musinnah. What's a musinnah? 2 years upwards. Khalas. You have only tabi'a and musinnah. That's it. So, 60 to 69. How much is that? Every 30 there's a tabi'a and every 40 there's a musinnah. from 60 to 69, 2 tabi'a. 70 to 79, come on. For every 30, there is tabi'a. For every 40, there's a musinna. 70 to 79, musinna and a tabi'a. You understand that? Go to the less number, 70. So 30 plus 40. 80 to 89, 2 musinna, 2 multiplied by 40. Well done. I'm going to give you now 120. Quickly. 3 musinna or 4 tabi'a. What are the two? You understand me? 4 tabi'a and 3 musinna, the same thing. Well done. Because 4 tabi'a, 4 multiplied by 30 is 120. Well done. You understand that now? Okay. Now we come to the sheep. 1 to 39, no zakah. Sheep now. 1 to 39, no zakah. 40 to 120, 1 sheep. 121 to 200, 2 sheep. 201 to 399, 3 sheep. Again, I'm going to do it. 1 to 39, no sheep. 40 to 120, 1 sheep. 121 to 200, 2 sheep. 201 to 399, 3 sheep. And 400 upwards, 1 sheep to every 100. 400 sheep and upwards, 1 sheep to every 100. So I've got 499 sheep. How much is zakah? 4. Well done. You see, got it now. 500? 5. 599? 5. Well done. Okay. Khalas. Easy. By the way, inshallah, I'll be able to finish the cattle for طيب. Stop here. And we'll give you just before this is linked to the zakah in the cattle. The conditions for the zakah in the cattle to be taken is number 1, that they reached the threshold, which I've said the numbers. Number 2, 1 year is to be passed. Number 3 is to be by itself grazing. That means you don't buy fodder for it. Do you understand me? You don't buy fodder for it. You don't buy the food. So it's grazing on the land. So if it's not grazing, then there's no zakah. So you are buying the food for it, fodder. So these are the 3 conditions. We should not take the best, as I said, the person who's taking the zakah should not, let's say, got to pay 4 sheep, I got to go with 4 rams, the best ones. And they do this to harm the person, if he's no good person, being deputized, in order that person gives him a hadiyah, the backhand, something like a bribe. Then he will take something, smaller. Otherwise, he will grill him and take the best out of it, which is haram. Al-Khulta, inshallah, we'll talk about that later on. What's that? Condition number 1, we said that they have to be reaching the threshold. Number 2, they have to have a year passed on it, lunar year. Number 3, they have to be grazing on. You're not providing. It's called sa'ima. Not providing. You're not providing the food. There is something here, a link to it. The last thing, which is before we talk about the treasure. That's next week. Treasure. Al-Khulta. Mixing. So you have 2 people, okay, who are having a company of sheep. You got 20 and I've got 20. They're together. So they've reached the 40. Okay. So if 2 sheep belonging to 2 people or more, and the money is not distinguished from the other, then the zakah, it will be on all of them. Okay. Anas radiallahu anh, he said that Abu Bakr radiallahu anh, he had written zakah regarding this issue, which the Prophet of Allah had commanded, is that لا يجمع بين متفرق ولا يفرق بين مجتمع. You should not combine between 2 which are not combined in order to take the zakah, and you should not separate that between them that there will be no zakat due. I'll tell you what it is. Let's say that I have 20 sheep and 20 sheep belongs to you. Now they are grazing together and we've got one shepherd to look after them. So when the deputized government, and they're together, they're not, we don't know which one is yours and which is together there. When the deputized government comes in and he says, okay, there are 40 sheep. So there's going to be what? One sheep zakat. Before he comes, we separate. Shepherd, you give me mine 20, and he'll take his 20 in order to what? To avoid the zakat. That's haram. Because they were all the time together. We can't distinguish one or the other. But we made this in order to do, you understand? Also, let's say that they are distinguished. I've got my 20, they are certain color, certain everything. And they are grazing by the other sheep, which are distinguished as well, 20. So the governor who comes in, he should not say, oh, they are one together. They're not one together. They are separate from each other, but they're grazing with each other. So he should not combine in order to what? To take what? Zakat, or the opposite this is. And now let's say that now I had 10 sheep and he had 30 sheep, but my 10 sheep is not distinguished, it's with the 30 sheep. 30 sheep plus 10 is what? 40. So he came, and we have to give what? One sheep. But is it correct that those sheep will be taken from me, I've got 10 onto the 30, or it has to be a ratio? It's a ratio. Do you understand me? So it's being taken one sheep, but he has to return back with the rest. So I have to pay a third of that. So 1/10. So I got 10, he's got 40. So I got to pay 1/4. And the 3/4 being paid by the other person. So let's say the sheep that he taken is worth £100. 75 on him, and what? 25. Do you understand that? So if he took the sheep, I should, because I'm the one who's got 30 sheep, he should give me 25 to make it 50-50. You understand that? So make it equal. Now, by this, alhamdulillah, we stop. Jazakumullah khairan. Inshallah, the money, the zakat on the rikaz, which is the gold or the treasure, that will be discussed next time. Any questions? Only zakah, ikhwani. Fadl.
Just regarding the food condition for the cow, for the cattle. So if the farmer can just use the cattle is grazing through like pellets, so is that never going to be required to pay the cattle in that? Can you just feed his cattle like pellets without feeding them well, and he works the cattle?
Any person who's paying money for his cattle by feeding them, what are the pellets, whatever to call pellets, then there is no zakah. There is no zakah. It has to be sa'ima. It means like they're grazing by itself. I'm not really paying money for that. You're grazing by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the land and sheep, you understand? But if I've been paying food and everything, believe me, it's not even worth it. Paying a lot, you're just hardly getting back what you have paid from the milk and all of this. Now, if it is, let's say, sometimes fodder, sometimes by itself, we will see which one is more. If she's most of the year is on the grass, which is outside in the mountains, you don't pay anything, then you have to pay zakah. If it is is you feeding it, then there is no zakah. Inside the one which is overcoming the other. Nah.
Today we have a lot of people that are going in business with each other.
No.
Things that fluctuate in price. How do they calculate the gap when it's like a business partnership?
You're talking about not cattle, you're talking about money. Yeah. Partnership with money.
Money and like
Khwani, the zakat is on the savings. It's not on the zakat on the things that you buy for the company. So let's say that you have a company. You have 1,000 trucks and 1,000 cars and 1,000 helicopters and 1,000. There's no zakah on that. Zakah is on the money that came out, the money which has been saved for 1 year. It is zakah. Do you understand that? So there's no zakah on trade. And that's a controversial issue, but there's no zakah on the trade. So if you would say, well, then the rich person, every time you know, he wants to run away from the zakah, he would just go and buy a truck or buy a house or get annoyed with the zakah. Well, Allah will know. That's number one. Number two, who said that if he buys a truck, then it is no good for the poor? No, it is better. Because that poor person, he could be a good driver, you know, or qualified, and he will employ somebody. And that person who will be employed, he was before receiving zakah, now he will be what? Giving zakah, because you have money, because you work. See what I mean? So this person who is expanding his trade and company, he is actually making other people to work and less people who ask for zakah. All right? So there's no zakah except on the savings. But here you've triggered something for me. There are some companies that they put some money into the bank in order, for example, to make their business work. So, for example, it's a salary for the workers for another 2-3 years, or for example, that he wants to pay it to put it for the sake of bills and all of that. Well, even that, if you put it in the bank or you put it whatever you want to put it, and it reached the threshold, and 1 year had passed, you have to pay zakah on it. So talking about the currency. So the zakah, money, gold, silver. There's no zakah on microphones, laptops. There's no zakah on cars, houses, lands without crops. There's no zakah on that. Even urud tijara, which is trade, there's no zakah. As a controversial, this last one, because some they say there's a zakah, but there is no proof. There's no zakah on trading. And that's the opinion of Abu Bakr and Umar radiallahu anhu. Naam. Fadlan. Okay. I think I do. Nah.
Question I had was, when it comes to women jewelry, I heard from another student that if they lend out their jewelry, then they might not need to pay zakat.
So it's a person, he has good jewelry, let's say a sister or a man. So, and the zakah is due after 1 year, but if they lend it to somebody, there is no zakah. No. If you lend it as in what? You mean like borrow?
Lend it out to other sisters for 3 months, 6 months.
No. Lending the zakah is still yours. So you own, you have to pay the zakah. But there is, which we call them hila shari'iyya, trick. Or you're trying to manipulate the sharia. What do they do? So the wife, she's got gold, and she knows it's got a zakah a lot. So but before the year is finished, she would give it to her husband, a gift. She knows her husband going to give it back. Do you understand that? So that she doesn't pay the zakah. So after the year is passed, give me my money back, my gold back. He's giving it to just what? So shifting that to the husband just for the sake of running away from the zakah. That's haram. Lending or borrowing. So there is a zakah. We're going to talk about the zakah upon as well. The loan. Well, let me just talk about it now. The loan. There is zakah on the loan. So if you have given somebody, let's say £10,000, and he's going to give it to you after 1 year or 2 years, and you know that this person, you know, your debt is live, your loan is live. Meaning, if you ask him for it, he will give it to you, bring it. Not somebody who's called it dead debt. Dead debt. That means this person, I don't know where he is, and if he's always does not answer my calls, and it's been years. The first one, which is the live, you have to pay the zakah. It's like you are actually putting your money in the bank. That's what it is. You're putting it with somebody who's trustworthy. You have to pay the zakah. Now, the person who had borrowed that money from you, if he had kept that money for 1 year, he will pay the zakah as well. So that money will be having zakah twice. So if I borrowed money from you, let's say 10,000, and I kept it in my house, I did not use it, for 1 year, I pay the zakah, and also the one who gave me that money, he will pay the zakah on that money. You understand that? But if it's a dead debt, this person, I don't know when he's going to give me that money. Given up. There is no zakah on that money until you receive it. Now, do you pay the zakah for all of those years or for just once when you receive it? Controversial. To say it is more just, it is once a year. Because imagine that this person, he kept it for 20 years. He's going to be paying zakah for every year, and the money is finished. The money is almost finished. So you pay it once you receive it, because it was dead. It's not yours. This guy is, then from nowhere he gave it to you. Alhamdulillah, we pay zakah, give zakah once. No.
So so I understand. So if you have a gold that is like, let's say 10, 11 karat gold, for example, would you have to calculate how much of that is pure gold in weight or to give the right
No, the pure gold, 85 grams.
How would you calculate the gold for that when it's not pure gold? Like 9 karat gold.
We said before, if you remember, we said 85 grams of pure gold. How much is it? We said 5,000. So any gold that reaches the 5,000 pound, you do zakah. Do you understand that? Yeah. So any type of gold reaches the 5,000 pounds, which is 85 grams, zakat you 2.5%. 2.5%. Now, so if you have now a salary, and you put in your salary in the bank, no zakah until it reaches the 85 grams, which is, let's say, 5,000 pounds. So for the sake of calculation, I don't know what it is now because it goes up, but the pound is going down. So let me just put gold live now. What is the gold price? It's about 55 that day, 56 pounds. 50 pounds. So 50 pounds. So 50 is 51. I'll make it 50. Good for the poor. Okay. So it's 50 multiplied by 85. That's 4,250. 4,250. Now, so up to 4,000, there is no zakah. So now, one can 4,250, then I will count. Now, this is today, let's say the 5th of such and such, or the 1st of Ramadan. It was. So until the following 5th of Ramadan, as long as it is not going below the 4,250, then I will pay the zakah. But how can I pay the zakah in which, let's say my money started 4,250. But every month I'm putting another 1,000. At the end of the year, it became 14,250. You understand that? Now, how do I calculate the zakah? There's two ways. One, which is if you are calculating person, yes, well, the 4,250, that's in itself a nisab threshold. So you count for that 1 year. And then if you had another one, which is had another 4,250, then you make another nisab for it. And how much? Or because your money is going up all the time, if you give to the last figure, it's better for the poor and you have saved yourself from the calculation. So I will give zakah on the 14,000 pounds that you have reached at the end of the year. But if your money going up and down, so I'm putting money, but sometimes I'm drawing, so they're going 4,000, 5,000, 4,250, and going 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, dropped 5,000. If they drop below the 4,250, you start from the beginning. No zakah. Let's say they were 4,250 all the way, mashallah, up to 20,000. Suddenly, they gone boom to 1,000. No zakah. Okay, has to be 1 year. So this person now is 4,250, but it didn't go below the threshold. It's got 6, 7, 7, 7, 6, 5, 4, 6, not 4, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20. Then the last, at the end of the year, it was 7,000. What is he going to be paying zakah for? 7,000. Last figure. Do you understand that? The bottom figure. So the one which is going up all the way, we said the last figure, which is the up. This one, the lowest figure, because it's going up and down. Okay? That solves your matter, your dilemma, what they're going to be doing. So my money going up and down, I will calculate at the end of the year the money which is I've got. But if my money going up and down and up and down and up and down, the bottom. Because the bottom one is the one had 1 year. The one is up, it hasn't been a year. Do you understand? Yes. Other. No.
The person's in debt of 1 million. There's a debt of 1 million. Is he allowed to receive the
If this person is in debt, I mean, we have to have a realistic question. Person is in debt of 1 million. Is he entitled for zakah? Why is he not entitled for zakah? Even if he's in debt of 200,000, he's in debt even 2,000. Why is he not entitled for zakah? I don't understand that. Where's this question coming from? I can't understand it.
This is for me now. And I also have huge amount of assets.
No, there's no zakah of his assets. He has to sell his assets, sell his houses, sell whatever he's got. Okay, so the person who's got a Lamborghini, but he hasn't got money to go and put extra on top of that Lamborghini. Can I borrow some money, brother? Give me zakat to give him. No. Sell your Lamborghini and buy a small car. He has to sell his assets. A person who's living in a mansion. His mansion costs about 5 million, but he's got no money. Sell your 5 million and live in 100,000.
If the person is poor, it can receive zakat. Is there a limit to how much it can receive?
Poor to receive the zakat, we give him the zakat which is enough for him for 1 year. To make him able to work for 1 year. That's zakat. Now,
What is the evidence of the threshold of gold and silver?
hadith of the Prophet 20 dinars. He said it. Hadith, 200 dirham.
If you lend someone jewelry,
But the 85 grams gold, this is what we have calculated from, what is the dinar is equivalent to 4.25 grams gold. This is like we weighed it. We want to know what is the dinar. And we weighed it. And the 20 dinars is mentioned. Prophet he said 20 dinars. And he said 200 dirham. The threshold of the silver. Now,
if you lend someone jewelry and they will not give it back to you, you still pay zakat.
somebody lent jewelry to somebody, and they don't give it back to you. I mean, what? I mean, they stole it, confiscated it. What?
They don't give it back. They don't give it back.
So that's not yours. They don't give zakat until you. It's like a loan. The last year that you get somehow they brought it to you after 10 years, you give zakat once. If you already had given up on them.
If someone had gold, they used to own gold, they never paid zakat, and they sold it. They cut it many years ago. They can't remember how much it was the rate with the zakat eligible, what they were doing.
So they didn't know about the to pay zakat for this jewelry that you got. It's been a number of years. They do as much as they can. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah as much as you can. To calculate. And then let's say they've got gold of 1,000 grams. So let's say they've got 20 years didn't pay zakat. So 1,000 grams, 2.5% for that, 25 grams goes into the zakat. So the following year I'm going to calculate what? The zakat on what? 975. Then deduct. Third year I'm going to deduct as well. Do you understand me? I will deduct from that until I reach the last 20 years. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. And he could see, by the way, now the apps would show you how much was the gold 20 years ago. Alhamdulillah. So there's a history. When I came to this country, 1 gram of gold was 16 pounds. Now it is 50 pounds. The difference, a huge price. Never believed it's going to be 50. SubhanAllah. When it gone to from 16 to 20, oh, too much. To 30, it's too much. 40, forget about it. I don't even look at it. 50 now.
So with us here about who is like entitled to, as a culture we say give it to your people that
We don't talk about who is entitled because we're going to be finishing then the topic. But if you have poor people from your family, they are more deserve to take your zakat because it will be silah. You're maintaining a kinship to them. That's another reward as well. So you do have priority to give the zakat to those people who are close, next of kin. Don't leave them. Now, we're going to talk about, inshallah, the categories of the zakat and to whom to pay the zakat, inshallah, next week. But because you've asked the question, yes, they have a priority to give the zakah to them. Now,
regarding to trading goods, buying and selling goods. Where does that opinion come from? Like people might start following that. Like I know myself, I was told to follow that because it's a safer opinion.
no safer opinion because there is no zakah. There was the shops at the time of the Prophet. There was trading on the top of the Prophet. And the zakah is nothing to do to complication. These days is how complicated it was. Don't forget about the laptops and the computers these days. For the shopkeeper to start counting how many biscuits he's got and how many chocolate he's got and how many whatever he's got, and then to make zakah on that every year. I used to make every year, we call it in Arabic, jard. How much do I have in my bookshop? And I have a bookshop which got pencils and pens and rubbers and all type of papers and all of that and books and all of this. And before this, the computers came and the barcodes and all of that. It takes me ages, about 2-3 days, to see how much is in my little shop. Right? And then so there's no zakah on the trading. That's the easy opinion. And this is the one who says, where is the proof? Where is the proof? Abu Bakr and Umar, they said it bluntly, there's no zakah on trading. Only on the savings. So there is no zakah on the person who's taking seller for rent. So he's got houses, got rent, and he takes rent from you. There's no zakah on the rent. Zakah, if he had put the money in the saving, that rent, put it there and stayed it for 1 year above the threshold, then there's a zakah.
So the money that you have in your bank account that you use to trade, that's not regarded as savings.
Sheikh, money, if it's been kept, there's been a zakah on it. Trade, that means you're buying laptops, you're buying cars with it. Do you understand? But if that money stayed as money, there is a zakah on it.
That money is being used to buy things, and then the money is being sold.
Why do you make things complicated for yourself? Zakah is on the savings, not on what you buy and what you sell. Simple, but because you're not really imagining it. Zakah is not, I got 100,000, I bought a car, or I bought a train, or I bought whatever it is. There's a zakah on that. There's no zakah. I paid 100,000, I got the train. I sold the train for 100,000. No zakah. Only on that 100,000 if it stayed for 1 year, the money. So if you took that as a profit, mashallah, and I put it there for 1 year, didn't use it, didn't buy anything with it, then there's a zakah on it. Simple. But because you are shocked now. No, as a controversial. This is controversial. It's not what I'm saying. So you'll find our Sheikh Al-Albani and Ibn Hazm before him, they say what I'm saying. I just took their words. And then you go look at the other, for example, Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah says something else. Sheikh Ibn Baz says something else. You understand me?
Why is it they say something that's different?
Abu Bakr and Umar, yeah. Because of too many things. Number two, do they believe that it is authentic? Number two, it doesn't mean Abu Bakr and Umar did something that they have to take their opinion. Number three, that they have something which is they think it's authentic from the zakat al-tijara. So you don't have to ask me why do they do. Well, this is the madhahab, the same thing. Why is it that these people who are Shafi'i make qunut al-fajr? Why it's endless, is it? Endless. The difference among the scholars. There's no end for this. Huh? Yeah. So he gave eight reasons. You could blame it, put it in one of these 8 reasons. It could be he didn't reach the hadith, he didn't think the hadith is authentic, not authentic. Maybe he didn't know it was abrogated. Lots of 8 reasons he gave. رفع الملام عن الأمة العالم. نعم.
Just off this next question, though, when you got a business and there's £20,000 there, so £10,000 you say for business.
This is zakah. Forget about business. The £20,000, as in pounds, stayed in the bank is zakah on it.
Business money. That money.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
Buy and sell cars.
Whatever we want to call it, you call it. Buy a car, no zakah. You're going to leave it there for 1 year, money is zakah. It's like the jewelry. Okay, jewelry, I'm not really saving it like blocks. I'm beautifying yourself, your zakah. So regardless of, and by the way, when I said the jewelry's got zakah as well, controversial. Sheikh Abdul Aziz Al Sheikh, the Mufti of Mamlaka, there is no zakah on the jewelry. So, why is it? I don't know. Ask him. Huh? Yeah, saving for marriage, saving for Hajj, saving for a car, saving for a. You could call it business very well, but it's still money. Somebody asked me about because he was shocked that somebody told him there's a zakah on the money that you put in the bank. We should say this is business money. He told him it's like business money. You know, it's in case because I have to pay the bills, I have to pay the electricity, I have to pay the gas, I have to pay in case as well these workers. I go busted, then I could pay them a salary for 34 months ahead. I think zakah is correct to pay zakah. He was shocked. He was shocked to say zakah. Yes, you have to pay zakah. So minimize that money that you're saving. They will have no zakah. He started thinking now to minimize that money. So he doesn't pay that much zakah. The question is only about 2 weeks ago. He asked me. This person, he's got a company. Zakah for business. نعم. خير إن شاء الله. طيب. هاي دكتور فراس finished. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Ya Allah. Ya Allah. Ya Mu'in. Nice microphone, and I think that microphone is the culprit.